What is your thinking bias? What is my thinking bias? What are their thinking bias? Each and every one of us have our thinking bias. The question is, are we aware of those thinking biases? And why do we fall into this thinking bias? There are two reasons. One is because for comfort, it's comfortable. And the other one is security. Comfort because we don't have to process that much thinking. Security because we're creatures of habit and we despise ambiguity. But the most important thing is to become aware of our thinking biases. We're going to show you 11 thinking bias and identify how many are yours. My name is Alfred Quinsay. Welcome to another educational video of ACCQ. I hope I say that right, not ECQ, but ACCQ, Continuing Professional Education. But before we move on, I'd like to go behind the camera to show you my prepared slides here. So I prepared it specially for you. Now, and so stay tuned. Here you go. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a question. You see $11, that's the price of the baseball bat and the ball. So both of them are $11, the total. If the baseball bat is $10 more than the price of the ball, how much is the price of the ball? I'm giving you 5 seconds to answer the question. Time's up. If you say that the price of the ball is $1, then you're wrong. The correct answer is 50 cents. Here's how. Let's assume that the price of the baseball bat is $1 more than the price of the ball, which is 50 cents. So 50 cents plus $1 would give you $1.50. If it's $2 more, then it's $2.50. If it's $3 more, it's $3.50. $4 more, it's $4.50. $5 more, it's $5.50. $6 more, it's $6.50. $7 more, $7.50. $8 more, $8.50. $9 more, $9.50. And $10 more, it's $10.50. I'm sure most of us, jump to the conclusion na kung narinig natin na $10 more, yung presyo ng bola is $1, no? I got that also. Yun rin yung sagot ko nun, no? So, but the correct answer is 50 cents. No, so, that's why I'm trying it with you, no? So, gawin nyo rin sa iba, no? Actually, what is that kind of thinking pattern? This is what you call yung thinking fast bias, no? We're inclined to think fast. We don't deliberate it much, no? Pero pag inisip natin yung presyo ng ng bola, no, is makukuha natin is 50 cents because $10 more than the price of the ball, so therefore $10.50 plus 50 cents would give you $11, which is the total price of the ball. Okay, so let's move on now to the 11 thinking biases. Number 1 is hindsight bias. This is sometimes referred to as the curse of knowledge. Kumbaga we have partiality dun sa past na nangyari. Okay, so we have, let's say for example, yung gumagawa tayo ng sales budget, we're making sales budget for next year, and ang kinukuha na natin na data is limited to the sales records during the last 5 years. So, sinasabi natin na nagawa na natin to in the past, mangyayari to ngayong taon na to. So, even in this pandemic, by the way, so there are a lot of hindsight bias, not that actually no one know na ganito yung mangyayari. So we were left uncertain. So, and even in normal circumstances, this is one bias that a lot of companies have suffered. The next one is the thinking fast. This is the baseball bat exercise that we did. No? So another thing that I want to mention here is ito rin yung tinatawag na instinctive thinking or yung tinatawag na fight or flight response. You know, when you imagine yung dalawang animals sa jungle, they look at each other, they don't deliberate it that much, no? It's either lalaban sila or tatakbo. So ganun din sa atin, we may not be facing the same life-threatening situation, but we can fall into that type of thinking, and it's not strategic. Now we can make a lot of mistakes by falling into that thinking fast bias. The next one is mere familiarity. So it explains why mere exposure helps us understand why in change situation people have special regard for what they might lose. You know, a couple of months ago, around January, I was involved in a research, in academic research. It's called Best Practices on the Usage of Technology Among CPD Providers. CPD stands for Continuing Professional Development sa accountancy. And I interviewed some of the top management of CPD providers. And a number of them said that bakit kami mag-shift to online seminars. Well, in fact, ginagawa na namin itong face-to-face. Marami nagpupunta sa seminar namin and mas maganda yung response kasi mas nakikita mo yung reaction ng audience. Tama. However, weeks after that, biglang nangyari itong lockdown. Wala silang magawa because they held to their beliefs because of that mere familiarity. Then what happened was that they have no choice but to place their seminar online. Last time I saw them is that nasa Facebook sila and they're flashing their seminars online. Libre pa. So this also illuminates how branding works sa marketing. Subjecting people to a consistent message over time builds the foundation of awareness, easing the selling process. So ano pala yun, no? Paulit-ulit, no? Minsan naiinis tayo, pero the thing is, kasi nagiging familiar tayo, actually, it bypasses our conscious minds, no? It's subliminal, no? So hanggang sa, because we're familiar, then we tend to be inclined to buy. Yun, sa brand. So ito yung sa branding. The next one is, so sabi nga, no, just to add to that, familiarity breeds content. Instead of contempt, so nilagay natin content. No? Kasi contento tayo, kasi familiar. It's familiar ground to us. The next one is willful blindness. So, if we are aware doon sa nangyari nung early 2000 about yung scandal ng Enron. This was in early 2000 when the financial statement biglang nagmagic, biglang nawala yung mga utang, and dumami yung kanilang stockholders because of that, investors, no? Not knowing paper income lang pala yun. So nung sumabog to, they were summoned to the higher courts, no? And doon sa Supreme Court, nalaman na yung mga CEOs mismo, alam nila yung nangyayari. They just turned a blind eye for that. Kaya nga meron nga dun sa audit engagement na tinatawag na management's responsibility. They know what's happening, but they turned a blind eye for that. And the next one is yung anchoring. Anchoring can be best described as, given an example, no? This is just an example, no? So let's assume that Manila's population is 10 million people. They say that Quezon City is 30% or 20%, no, higher in terms of population than Manila. So parang ginawa mong anchor yung population ng Manila. So 10 million plus 20%, no, plus 1.2, no, this is 120%, no, that would give you the percentage, the population of Quezon City. That is not accurate. No, we tend to anchor it, no, kumbaga, kasi parang guesstimate na lang sa atin, ballpark figure ika nga. The next one is halo effect. Now, most of us are guilty of this one. Meron sa opisina, no, kita natin, uy, maganda, presentable, no, kunin natin yan, mukhang masipag. Not knowing na naging regular na, lumabas yung tunay na ugali, hindi natin alam, lasinggero, no, o lasinggera pala. No, panay na yung absent. Binibigyan natin ng excuse. Siguro nag-away lang sila ng jowa nila. But not knowing na gano'n na pala yung habit niya. Susugal pa. So, because we tend to give halo effect. This is also common sa nangyayari ngayon, no? In this global pandemic. Meron tayong mga tinatawag na manok na politiko. No, so, para bang hindi sila makakagawa ng mali, no? So nabigyan tayo ng magandang impression, yung first impression na yon, it lasted kahit na medyo hindi na pumapalya-palya na ng kaunti, no? Pero tayo na rin ang nagbibigay ng excuse. So that is halo effect. On the other hand, meron namang isa na hindi natin masyadong nagustuhan. No, kahit anong gawin niya maganda ngayon, hindi na mabubura yung nagawa niya. Because of that, tinatawag na yung mga first impressions effect, no? Ito yung mga first impressions bias, which is also synonymous with halo effect. The next one is representative bias. This is also common in audit, no? So kukuha ka ng sample thinking that it represents yung population, no? And another example is like, let's say nakapunta ka ng Europa 2 beses pa lang. So nagbigay ka na ng impression mo na ganito yung mga tao sa Europa, ganyan. Kasi minsan nung nandun ako sa ganitong restaurant, no, ganito yung nila, pag-ugali nila. Hindi mo alam na nagkataon lang na ganun yung na nakatagpo ka lang ng ganung tao, no? Pero hindi naman sila lahat ganun sa particular place na to, no? So that is representative bias. You're making generalization based on a small samples of data. Another one is confirmation bias. Confirmation bias. Sige, sabihin mo sa akin kung ano yung gusto kong marinig. No? Ito yung maraming ganyan, no? Some of the CEOs would hire consultants not necessarily to give them advice, but to confirm what they already know. What it confirms their beliefs. So, kumbaga, kinuha ka lang para i-confirm yung belief na yan. So, maraming ganyan, no? So, we go to seminars, to a lot of events, just to confirm our beliefs. So, pag nagtugma yung sa beliefs natin, then, maganda. If it's not, dinidismiss natin. The next one is overconfidence bias. So we are too precise and largely incapable of embracing the breadth. So we cannot embrace yung new or yung change, no? So I have a client about 2 years ago, 2018, and meron silang produktong ibinebenta. It's about an educational material. It's also technological. So the CEO said that tatagal pa yon ng 4 na taon from 2018. So, nag-order sila ng marami. Kasi nga naman bumibenta like pancakes, no? So, sabi ko, napailing na lang ako, wow, this is technology, no? Parang cellphone to. So, 4 na taon. So, imagine sa 2022 pa siya medyo magwi-win. So, not knowing, within that year also, 2018, may lumabas na isa pang produkto. So what happened is that nagkaroon sila ng competition and they cannot sell it as is. Yung produkto na yan, they have to put some bundles to it, no, para mabenta yung produkto. And of course, the saying goes, nagkaroon sila ng overconfidence bias sa produkto. And corollary to that, nagkaroon din ng tinatawag na sunk cost fallacy. So putting good money into bad investment. So, because they thought na 4 na taon pa tatagal yun, so nag-stock sila sa bodega for multi-million pesos deal of that particular material or that particular inventory, yung educational material na technological. So, what happened is that nagkaroon na tayo ng ngayon, 2020 pa lang, nagkaroon na tayo ng pandemic. So, what happened is that naka-stock lang yon. So, matagal na hindi tatakbo yun. And, yun na nga, no? So, that's the hardest part of it, no? Hindi na natin mababawi because nandun na yun. It's already sunk cost. Another one is risk aversion. So, ito, people are most likely to choose things based on their need to avoid negative experience. Now, in financial management, there is a concept called yung tinatawag na the value of perfect information. This is under risk management. No? So, you invest some, gagastos ka, pero makukuha mo yung value ng good information or perfect information that will earn you income. Now, there's a story in the UK. There's a company that is worth a fortune. They want to sell it, no, for a fortune, and sabi nila, you can only sell that if you get the value of the perfect information. Now, that value of the perfect information would cost them 50,000 British pounds. But they're going to earn 80 million British pounds. So imagine, that is just minuscule compared dun sa makukuha nila. However, hindi sila nakakasiguro, so they were risk averse. So instead of going for the value of the perfect information, then ibinenta na lang nila without that perfect information, no, without that investment, yung risk ng investment na yon, but they only sold it at half the price. So imagine yung cost-benefit analysis nun. So you can do the math. So this can be explained with this logical incrementalism. As you see, kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng mga thinking biases na yan, no? At the beginning of the engagement, the environment and the strategy is aligned. Pero because of that thinking biases, habang tumatagal, nagkakaroon tayo ng gap or yung tinatawag na strategic drift. So yung strategy, lumalayo na sa kung ano yung actual na nangyayari. So, what's important is to be aware of these thinking biases in order to minimize yung tinatawag na adverse impact. So, there you have it. Ikaw, ilan ang thinking biases mo? Ako, medyo marami-rami rin. But the most important thing there is, hindi kung ilan, but kung gaano ka ka-aware. So with that, if you have any questions, or if you want to comment, you can comment below, but also subscribe. And incidentally, the concept that we have shown just a while ago was taken from my seminar back then. It's called the Strategic Management for Accountants, which is now in Kindle Amazon as a book. So I made a book about that. No? It's called Strategic Management for Accountants, see beyond the numbers. So if you want to check it out, you can, there's a link below. So it's available on ebooks. I also like to make mention of the concepts. Some of the concepts is also taken from the Strategic Decision Making by Shenoy and Haslam. So you can also check that out. So with that, God bless and stay safe.